Okay, for the first one, what you want to do is, we know that these are tangent lines, so you have to remember that when tangents intersect a circle, they make a 90-degree angle with the radius. So put your radius in as 90, or put your degree measure in as 90, and then you could do 180 minus 58 and 90. Same thing with number 2. Draw your 90s in right here. And then all 4 of these have to add up to 360 because it makes a quadrilateral. So x is 50. And number 3, if you have this 90-degree angle, you can use the Pythagorean theorem. So x squared plus 8 squared equals x plus 2 squared. So you have to make sure you put x plus 2 in parentheses. And to do that, you FOIL and you get this. After that, the x squareds will cancel out on both sides, and then you can solve for x in this equation. And number 4, you can write in that this is 3, because both of these are radii. So this distance is 10 right here. This makes the 90. So that's why 10 is the hypotenuse, because it's opposite the 90. And I'd actually rather you leave it as x equals the square root of 91. Unless it tells you to round the nearest tenth, then you should write x as approximately 9.5. Okay, then the pulley one. When you draw the segment 25, start at the center of the smaller circle. Start at the center. This is smaller than this circle. Then draw your segment over. I would mark my 90 degrees, so then you can tell that this segment is the hypotenuse. So this segment is 25, and this part is 3, because 12 take away 9 is 3. So this is 3. And then you can do the Pythagorean theorem. So this is about 25.2. So same thing with number 6. Start at the radius of the center of the smaller circle and work across. If I draw my 90s in, the hypotenuse is 7. So this distance is going to be 1, because 2 and 1 make 3. And then again, I would write approximately symbols in. Okay, then number 7, we know that this is 12 because this is a perpendicular bisector. So it's 12 squared plus 5 squared equals 13 squared. Or 13 squared x is 13. And then we can do the perpendicular bisector again for this one and get x squared is 10.25 and then take the square root. Same thing with number 9. Make this a 4. So x squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. And then this one we drew. She drew in a 3 was the radius. So first find this one. So it's going to be a squared plus 2 squared equals 3 squared. And then double it. So I would do, instead of doing this part right here, I would do a is equal to square root of 5. So a would be this part right here. So x is going to be 2 root 5. That's better than rounding this and then rounding. So I would write it like this. And put 2 root 5 in the calculator around the nearest tenth. Okay, and the first two for 11 and 12 are using the theorems for 12.2. So if you know that these arcs are congruent, then you know the chords are congruent. These are chords. And you know the central angles are congruent. Same with number 12. Okay, number 13, you're using the inscribed angle. So this is called the intercepted arc. And the intercepted arc is always twice the angle, so that's why it's 55 degrees. And number 14, you could draw in that this is 90. So this has to be 45. And then Z has to be half of 170. That's how we got 85. And then this makes a triangle. So triangles add up to 180. In 15, we know that this is 180 because this is a diameter right here. So this is 180, so X has to be half of that. And then Y has to be 70, it's twice this. In number 16, we know this is 220, so all the way around is 360. So this has to be 140. So X has to be half of it because X is this angle. And number 17, we know that this is a triangle. So these three have to add up to 180. So once we get that this is 90, the X makes up the intercepted arc. And number 18, if I draw in 70, this has to be 140. If I draw in 50, this has to be 100. And then now I can do X. X would be 140 plus 100 plus X equals 360. And then these, I believe, were the same as our homework. So this one is a diameter. So if we know this is 10, then this has to be 170 because it has to add up to 180. So angle D goes with 170, so angle D has to be half of it, which is 85. And this one's color coded too. It's still, so I would work with that all the way around has to be 360 first on this one, so you could get this one. And then she drew in the intercepting arcs and the corresponding inscribed angles.